Welcome back to Elevation Perspective. My name is Mark. Today we're ranking the top 10 first basemen in Major League Baseball in 2025. Kicking off our list at number 10, I have Triston Casas of the Boston Red Sox. In 2024, Triston Casas hit .241 with 13 home runs and a .799 OPS. Casas was limited to just 63 games and 212 at-bats in 2024, dealing with torn cartilage in his left rib cage. In 2023, however, Casas had his breakout year, hitting .263 with 24 home runs and an .857 OPS in his age 23 season. I truly believe that Triston Casas has star potential. He just needs the health to go with his talent. I just really like the profile here for Triston Casas. Hits the ball really hard, has a great walk rate, a little bit alarming on the strikeout side, definitely jumped up from 23 to 24, but because he played so few games, I don't think it's a major cause of concern, just something to monitor going forward. I have Casas right at the number 10 spot right now, but I think looking at this list next year for 2026, he might be inside the top 5. He has that much potential. I'm that high on this player. It is tough being a left-handed batter inside of Fenway Park, but he, of course, may be traded also. There are some rumors going around that the Red Sox are shopping Triston Casas for pitching help, so we'll have to wait and see on that front. But I really like Triston Casas. I'm comfortable with him in the number 10 spot. I think he's probably looking at a .250 batting average, 30-plus home runs, a nice RBI total, a solid OPS, really strong player at the number 10 spot. At number 9, I have Vinny Pasquantino of the Kansas City Royals. In 2024, Pasquantino hit .262 with 19 home runs and a .761 OPS. Pasquantino missed about 30 games last year. He broke his thumb making a defensive play in late August. He just got back in time for the playoffs, but he missed all of September with that thumb injury. Vinny P has a very impressive batting profile. He has a 14.5% whiff rate, a 12.8% K rate as a first baseman who hits the ball pretty hard. You don't really see that kind of whiff and K percentage from a guy who hits the ball with this much authority. It's more like a slap contact hitter who would have that kind of whiff and K percentage, so pretty impressive in that regard for Vinny. The problem that I do have with Pasquantino is I look at this Savant page that he has, a lot of red, does a lot of things really well, and I feel like he should be better than he is. He only hit .262 with 19 home runs last year. Now, I know he missed time with injury, but still, not very impressive numbers given what I believe he could become. I wonder if Kauffman Stadium, being a Kansas City Royal, really holds him back. Maybe if he was able to get traded, whether he leaves in free agency in a few years, he might take that next step. But right now, I feel like he's a really, really solid floor, but not a great ceiling as the Royals' first baseman. I looked into Pasquantino's home and road splits. They really surprised me. At home, he hit .291 with an .812 OPS and 8 home runs. On the road, he hit .233 with a .706 OPS and 11 home runs. So the power was up on the road like I did expect. I didn't think the home numbers would be so good from a batting average and OPS standpoint, but I feel like to me, this stands out that maybe he's just a gap power guy. Maybe he just sprays the ball all over the field, doesn't really have that true power. He can tap into that still. He's just age 27, but I feel like looking at these numbers, he's probably more of a doubles guy, 20, 25 home runs, a solid player in the number 9 spot. At number 8, I have Yandy Diaz of the Tampa Bay Rays. In 2024, Yandy Diaz hit .281 with 14 home runs and a .755 OPS. Now, I know a .281 average with 14 home runs is not incredibly impressive, but 1 year prior in 2023, Yandy Diaz hit .330 with 22 home runs and a .932 OPS, winning the American League batting title. Diaz is age 33, so I think we might be seeing the start of a decline here, but I could definitely see a bounce back in 25, somewhere between that .330 in 23 and that .281 in 24. I think he's probably going to hit around 300 with maybe 18 to 20 home runs with a solid 800-plus OPS. Similar to Pasquantino, I see Yandy Diaz as a very safe player. I don't think he's going to have a phenomenal year, but a very safe 300 average, 15 to 20 home runs, a really solid first baseman, and with a floor that high, I'm going to put him in the number 8 spot. At number 7, I'm going with Josh Naylor, the brand new Arizona Diamondback. Naylor had a strong 2024 campaign, hitting .243 with 31 home runs and a .776 OPS. Naylor did see a career best in home runs in 24 with 31, but also his average dropped down to .243. Naylor did have a .257 expected batting average and a 16.6% K rate, so I do feel like that average is probably an outlier. I think he's more of a .260-ish hitter with about 25 home runs, maybe a little bit less power, a little bit more batting average. Naylor has shown an ability to be a true run producer, though. He has a knack for RBIs, and I think he's in a great position now in Arizona with Ketel Marte in front of him, with Corbin Carroll in front of him. He's going to have so many opportunities to drive in runs. I think we're probably looking at 100-plus RBIs for Naylor in his contract year in Arizona. Naylor is average at best defensively and a poor base runner, but a very solid hitter. I think he's probably going to hit around 260 with 25 home runs, drive in 100 runs, and be a very productive player for the Arizona Diamondbacks. At number 6, I have Christian Walker, the brand new Houston Astro. In 2024, Walker hit 251 with 26 home runs and an 803 OPS. Walker did miss about a month with an oblique strain in 2024, but he's been rock solid over the last handful of years for Arizona. Walker has had 3 straight years of an 800 OPS or higher with a career OPS of 793. In 24, Walker had a 10 fielding run value, putting him in the 91st percentile. It's so often with first baseman, you just kind of put the slugger there who can't really move around, can't really play great defensively, but Walker really stands out there, a phenomenal defensive first baseman. I would say the only real concern with Christian Walker is his age. He is 33 years old, and first basemen do not age historically well. But now going to Houston, having that short porch out in left field, the Crawford boxes, I think he should age pretty well. The power should remain the same. Maybe the average takes a dip as he gets older, but a solid move for the Astros here. I think they'll probably get a 250 hitter with about 30 home runs, really good defense, a solid player in Christian Walker at the number 6 position. At number 5, I have Pete Alonso, formerly of the New York Mets, currently still a free agent. In 2024, Alonso hit 240 with 34 home runs and a 788 OPS. Alonso put up elite production from 2019 when he broke into the league all the way to 2022. Then 2023 came along, seeing his batting average drop from 271 to 217, but his homers ticked up to 46. So a weird year in 23, a 217 batting average with 46 home runs. Then we were kind of waiting to see what he was going to do in 24 in his contract year, where he hit 240 with 34 home runs. So the average did tick up a little bit, but the power dropped off pretty significantly. Now, 34 home runs is nothing to sneeze at or look down upon, but he had 46 in 23. That's 12 down from the year prior. Maybe he maintains around this 30-35 home run rate, but if that is the case, he's not this truly elite power and talent he used to be. And considering he's a very poor defender and he's a bad base runner, like I said previously with Christian Walker, first basemen age historically poorly. That's why Pete Alonso and Scott Boras right now are trying to get a 7-year deal, and the Mets and whoever else are in are probably offering him a 3-year deal with an opt-out after year 1 and telling him, hey, Pete, you want to go back out into this free agent market next year at age 31? Be our guest, but we're not bending the knee right now. We're not giving you what you want. So the way that I view Pete Alonso and project him going forward for at least the next handful of years, 2 to 3 years, I think we're probably looking at a 240 to 245 batting average, 30 to 35 home runs, and about an 800 OPS. With the poor defense, with the bad base running, he might become a DH relatively soon, maybe like a year or two. He moves from first base to DH. It's definitely in the cards for Pete, but still a solid enough player. I do believe the Mets will come to an agreement with Pete Alonso relatively soon. There's, of course, rumors about the Angels, some other teams possibly in the mix, the Blue Jays, the Giants, but to me, it feels like Pete Alonso will go back to the New York Mets on a 3 or a 4-year deal with an opt-out after year 1. At number 4, I have Matt Olson of the Atlanta Braves. In 2024, Matt Olson hit 247 with 29 home runs and a 790 OPS. Now, while those numbers are pretty pedestrian, you have to go back just 1 year in 2023 where Olson hit 283 with 54 home runs and a 993 OPS. Now, 23 was almost certainly his peak. I don't see Matt Olson ever getting back to the 54 home run range, but he is still an elite player. To me, it felt like in 2023, everything just went right for the Atlanta Braves, especially for their hitters. But I do feel like Matt Olson is more of a 40 home run bat, not a 30 home run, not a 54 home run bat, but let's meet in the middle-ish around 40. A really impressive stat here for Olson as well. He has not missed a game since being traded over to the Atlanta Braves, 162 in 22, 23, and 24. I think Olson bounces back in 2025, hits around 250 with 38 home runs and 830 OPS, really solid defense, a really strong player here at position number 4. At number 3, I have Freddie Freeman of the Los Angeles Dodgers. In 2024, Freeman hit 282 with 22 home runs and an 854 OPS. Freddie Freeman is just so good and so consistent year after year. We saw the first sign of decline here in 2024 in his age 35 season, coming off a batting average in 22 of 325 and batting average in 23 of 331, dropping down to 282. Now look, if 282 with 22 home runs and an 854 OPS is a bad year or declining year, that's still phenomenal for the majority of the league. Not Freddie Freeman's standard, but still an absolute great year. Freeman still has really solid metrics here. He's just not hitting the ball as hard as he previously did. I can't really ever see a world where Freddie Freeman is a bad player even as he enters his late 30s here. I feel like the Dodgers will hide him pretty well in a lineup there with Shohei, with Mookie, with Teoscar Hernandez, Will Smith. He'll just kind of be another guy at some point, but like I said, if he's hitting 280 just kind of in the background there, he'll still be very productive for this team. I anticipate Freddie Freeman hitting about 285 with 20 home runs, an 830-ish OPS for the Dodgers here, and he'll definitely score his 100 runs, probably drive in 100, hitting that 2 or that 3 spot in this Dodgers lineup. At number 2, I'm going with Bryce Harper of the Philadelphia Phillies. Bryce hit 285 with 30 home runs and an 898 OPS in 2024. Now, Bryce has had his fair share of problems staying on the field with injuries, but from a production standpoint, Bryce is always elite. I do believe that Harper's perception and stature has kind of dropped off a little bit over the last handful of years. Probably not looked at that elite superstar level he once was, but still such a great player. And I feel like in 2025, with something to prove here, Bryce Harper gets himself back into the MVP conversation, hits 290 with 35 home runs, a 950 OPS, and might be the MVP for the Philadelphia Phillies. And at number 1, I have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. of the Toronto Blue Jays. Guerrero has been inconsistent over the last handful of years, but he was back to his elite ways in 2024, hitting 323 with 30 home runs and a 940 OPS. You just look at Vladimir Guerrero's Baseball Savant page and you're in absolute awe. You have to take your jaw off the floor. A 321 expected batting average, a 567 expected slug, a great average exit velocity, great barrel rate, great hard hit percentage, doesn't strike out, walks a lot, just a phenomenal player. As I previously mentioned, Vlad has been inconsistent over the last handful of years. That batting average has definitely fluctuated, but I feel like entering his age 26 season in a contract year, he's going to go off. An absolutely phenomenal year in his probably last year with Toronto. I think he saw all the money that Juanso just got, and he's going to say, I'm in a similar position age-wise. I won't get $700 million, maybe $500 million or so. I think Vlad's going to have a monster year. He is my pick for the number 1 first baseman heading into 2025. And that is going to do it here for our list, the top 10 first basemen of 2025. I noticed it's a pretty old position here with the exceptions of Vladimir Guerrero and Tristan Casas, but it was a lot of fun to do. Hopefully everyone enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching.